Hello, Hillary Raven Porter here, Astral Shaman and Tamiana Starseed Oracle with Sacred Starseed Healing. Atino Mataki. Today I am here because I want to share with you a template for meditation. So this template is based on esoteric acupuncture template by Dr. Mikyu Sankey. Esoteric acupuncture uses grid work to access other planes of existence, grid work within the body so it's not just acupuncture for the physical being, it's for the astral. And so what's so lovely about these templates is you don't have to be an acupuncturist to use them. I mean, really, you don't have to be an acupuncturist to use any of the energetic points upon your body. You have so many energetic points upon your body that you can utilize yourself to create shifts and changes. Atino Damasaki, within your journey, within your current lifescape, is what I was going to say there. Atino Damasaki, Atino Damasaki, Utino Damasaki, Atino Damasaki. So this is medicine you have on your body. These are spiritual tools that you have on your body already. Yeah. And so this template that I want to share today is the extended Indigo Triangle pattern. What? Yeah, he's got some amazing, there's a soul journey pattern, there's a Kabbalistic tree of life pattern, there's the tree of life heart pattern, there's patterns for the chakras. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing what he's done. And what's so beautiful about these processes and these grids as well is that they help tune you in to ways to access these energy points upon your body, any energy points upon your body, but the way in which to activate them and in what sequence to activate them to amplify them. Because you could be like, yeah, I have an energy point here and here, and then one here and here, and then here, right? Whatever it is, because like I said, there's thousands upon your body based on the nadis, based on traditional Chinese medicine, based on Ayurvedic medicine. It's not just one mode of thinking, right? But when we amplify them and use specific patterning in ways to activate these grids, we actually create even more finer frequency states. Okay? So I've been called to share some of these with you, and this is the first one. This one I did last night before bed. I have to remember not to do this for myself before bed because I have quite an active astral traveling space when I sleep, to the point of waking myself up, speaking light code, like being with my guides, having to ask them, okay guys, I need to sleep tonight. I can't keep doing the work. Once I close my eyes here, I can't just open them on another plane of existence. But I did this one last night before bed. It was lovely. It was so lovely. Let's just say I did so much work and had so many experiences on the other planes of existence throughout the night. I woke up feeling a little, tired, like I hadn't slept. You can kind of hear it in my voice a little bit. I was speaking a lot last night. So the indigo, so we're going to talk a little bit about what the extended indigo triangle pattern is. We're going to talk about the points, its function, and then I'm going to show you where they are and talk about how you can activate them yourself. I'm not going to do a guided meditation here. I'd contemplated it, but I'm going to give you the information and then allow you on your end to intuitively go, this is how I need to activate them right now. So it's called, Indigo Children, it was, what is that? All those incarnated after 1987, right? That's the Indigo Children. So that's when the harmonic convergence happened. You can find lots on the harmonic convergence elsewhere. I mean, Cosmic Messenger talks a lot about all these kinds of things. You can always head on over to his station, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and look up more information on that. So after August of 1987, there was this explosion of beings that were coming in that had an aptitude, a higher awareness right from the get-go. And there were some beings that were before 1987 too. It doesn't mean like only after 1987, but that was when there was a huge influx. So they have highly developed intuition, insight, and they grasp the ageless wisdoms. They grasp the ancient information. They grasp the etherical stuff. The etherical, the finer frequency bits and pieces and information and data and experiences that much more clearly. They also have a greater capacity or desire to learn about these inner plane wisdoms. So the right brain is more activated, and that is because the right brain is the creative, the imaginative, the place that isn't so tangible, so linear. Because when you're working in the other planes, the other realms, it's not linear. Think of dream space. Yeah, that's very similar. Because there are rules, but there's no rules, right? Like this is solid. In those planes, you're like, this is solid, but I can put my finger through it. You can change that rule. Yeah? So what's the point of this template that we're going to do? This template has 7 points, all on the head and the face. You're going to get to experience me drawing on my face. I figured, I'm like, why not? Let's give it a go. So the point of this template is to strengthen and harmonize the ajna, the third eye, the 6th plane of existence, the nemate, in Tamiana, right? Whatever you want to call it, it's that third eye. It's to activate. This template is, you can use this template to activate that insight that came so naturally or comes so naturally to the indigo children. Right? So, quick run through of the points, and then we'll go to them in more depth. We have the third eye, ajna as well. Yin tong, if you're doing TCM stuff. We're not necessarily activating them in these sequences, but you have one there, and there. Oh, I got like an indent happening. It's crazy. Okay, there. And that might be a different shape, but we're going to be basing it on equilateral, I guess? Diamond, right? But if you already have, and if you have the capacity to see or feel within yourself that it's actually different than that, because we're going to talk about how to locate it very specifically, which I encourage you to start with and see, how does this feel? Does this feel right? Or is this one over a bit more? Is this one up a bit more? Right? Because when we can see and feel into the etheric realms, we see, because everything's not perfect, right? It's like, I've worked on some people doing the like third eye templates, and it's like out here and here and here, and then other people, and it's like here and here and here and here. You know what I mean? Like, where is it for you? Yeah. Then we have just behind the little shelf, and you can see where I used to have my labrae, just below that, right where that mental labial fold is, right there. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 points. So we're activating quite a bit up here. We're doing 4 points up here. So there's Ajna 1. No, sorry. Ajna 1's up at the top. Ajna 1, 2, and 3. We're only doing 1 and 3. This is the Indu chakra. The middle one, if we were doing the middle one, that's going to be the Manas chakra. And then we have the third eye. So they're all part of the ajna of the third eye plane of existence. But the one with the most potent of like getting right in there, oh man, if you put Shisandra chinensis, the herb, if you put a drop right there of that tincture, because it's all about harnessing that focus and that clarity. But we're going to talk about how can you activate these points on yourself, right? So 1, 2, and 3. So this one activates the Indu. This one straight to the third eye. These are just higher levels of the third eye. Yeah? Okay. But what's the Indu chakra? Right? Indu chakra, so that's the first point. I'll show you how to locate it specifically. Because once you know, it's like learning to draw the human body. You draw the human body proportionately, and then you know how to, like, you can adjust it and still be within the realms of, oh yeah, that's totally alignment, right? Because it's different. Like, you're not going to go over here for the Indigo chakra, it's still going to be in this zone, but maybe yours is over or up. But the Indigo chakra, I hadn't actually really heard of this guy. Indigo or the Manas chakra. So it's a forehead chakra that's part of the tantric system. It's also called the Chanda, right? It apparently has 16 petals and is white. And like the third eye, because it is part of the third eye, right? It's like the upper third eye. It's like upper third eye, lower crown, right? Because remember, they don't just go third eye, crown. Like there's a lower and an upper to all of them. Right? So, like the third eye, it relates to and corresponds to different states of consciousness. Envision. Makes sense, right? Let's see here. The Mana chakra. It's not specific to this, so we're not gonna dive into the Mana chakra right now. Okay, maybe we will, because through this activation, it's incorporating the Mana chakra would be right in the middle. If we did a diamond, when we do the diamond, there's a spot right in the middle, which we're not activating, but it's still going to get activated because we're like surrounding it with this frequency, right? And it's not like as you're activating, if you're activating with light, it's not like the light just goes like this and it's just a delineated outline. So the Mana chakra, between yin tong, between the Indu, so it's right about approximately there, aka mind. Manas is mind. This is the mind chakra, right? What I loved about this, so this one is seen to be 6 petals. And this one really relates to the senses, right? So there's the 5 senses plus a 6th. So I love this phrase that I found. I'm intuitive and intelligent. So this is like the affirmation or the, like, this is this point. This is the Mana chakra. I am intuitive and intelligent. My 5 senses are acutely heightened, and so is my 6th sense, where I can go into altered states of consciousness. So these petals on this flower, on this lotus, change color, so they're white, but then depending on what emotion or what sense, not emotion, what sense is being used depends on what color the petals are. Yellow, white, red, ash, or white. And then when we sleep or we enter into the astral realms, it goes black. Great. I love it. It's the seat of the thinking mind. Right? When we activate it, it purifies or cleanses. It's the brain, especially when we do breathing techniques. The thing is, when we breathe in, it doesn't just go in and then straight down into our lungs. It goes in, and we've got like caverns in there. We know this. We experience them when we end up with nasal congestion, when we end up with like a sinus infection or a cold. We're like, how much phlegm do I have? Because it's just like packed in there. So when it goes in, and it fills those chambers, it's like activating behind, in that space. What? So we talked about this, thinking mind, center of the lower mental vehicle. So this is like instinct, impressions, habits, where we feel the most joy, the most pain, like the acuteness, not the like physical pain, but like that gut-wrenching pain. This one is really great in regards to the processes of meditation. From taking us from that distracted monkey mind into the space of calm, clarity, focus. So you can see how when we do all 3, like, I mean, I'm used to just working with the third eye. And that's what I love about these templates, is they're encompassing more than just this one aspect. Okay, let's go into the points. You ready? I'm gonna draw my face. Yeah? This will be fun. Okay, here we go. Because then you'll also have a visual, because I can just touch them, but let's have a visual here, and since I can do it, so this might be entertaining. So the first point, you're gonna find yin tong. Okay, so literally, or ajna 3, atito third eye 3, just go right in between your eyebrows. Okay? Now, if you want to get technical, You can take the space of your inner canthus, so that's the inner part of your eye, atino no masaki, measure it, right? So mine's about that much. And then I'm going to go, the bottom one's going to go on my Ajna 3 or Yin Tong, the third eye point. And then the top one's here. So if we were going with literal, oh, it looks like a heart, sorta, or a bird. So I went from here up to there, the same distance that my eyes are apart, right? And remember, on you, it might not be exactly there, but let's just talk about where these points are exactly, or, you know, because we all have to learn sort of, it's like solar plexus. We're not going to say, well, your solar plexus is on your abdomen. Where on my abdomen? I've got lots of space there. We need to get a little specific, right? So that's Ajna 1. Now we're gonna let's do the third eye point. Okay, Katato no Masaki. So Katato no Masaki, third eye point. Kigo no Matsaka, Ajna 3, or Yin Tong if you're going through the energy points of TCM. Patuto de Basaki to Kota Basaki. Now we're gonna have Indigo 2 and 3. Now, how do we find Indigo 2 and 3? Halfway between these 2 points, and then you're going to go up from your eyebrow. So just figure out where the edge of your eyebrow is. Right? Okay, see? So now I've got this diamond-esque space. Those are a little bit high. But again, on you it might be a little bit different, but we're just finding where they are on our face. Yeah? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where's 5? 5, this is my right side. I don't know what you see. I don't know if this looks like right to you, but this side is my right side. So then you're going to find that little shelf. You're just going to go back along your jaw until you go do, boom. And then there's this like little blip right back there, right? Let's do it on the other side. So you're not necessarily going to have to be so specific depending on how you're activating the point, which we're going to go through. Now, the mentolabial groove. So these guys, small intestine 17, if you want to get into the other stuff, which we're going to actually talk about what these points are doing. Mentolabial groove. I have a lovely little indicator right there, but I'm going to go a little bit lower than that. Okay, so now I've got 7 points on my face to give you an idea of what's where. 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, what are these points though? So we've got the Ajna 1, which we talked about. The Indu chakra, an upper level of Ajna, of Yin Tong, of the third eye. On you, it might be a little bit higher. It might be a little bit off to the side. Feel around. Be like, okay, so it's approximately here. I actually feel like it's up and over a little bit. Like mine actually feels like it's like right here. Right? Up and over just a little bit. Then we've got Indigo 2. So again, this is my right. I think my camera flips. I'm not sure. So the right side is the one that has more, for me, when I say right, it's more of the side with the mandala. This is Indigo 2, and this is Indigo 3. Then we have the Yin Tong. Then we'd go to the right over here, right? That's going along the ledge. Bloop, right there. This is the location of the energetic portal of small intestine 17, which is Tianrong, or heaven's reception, celestial contents. This is the space where celestial chi can enter your face and your head. Yeah. So you go right and then left, and then Ren 24, Tian Chi. Or Chengjian, but I like Tianqi better. It's celestial pool versus sauce receptacle, right? Celestial pool. There's a lot of different meridians that interact here, which can be supportive of the journey. So if like the stomach, well, how are we digesting? How are we processing this whole experience, right? the information that we're bringing in, the large intestine, what are we letting go of? And do. So the yin and yang balance, the reception and the standing in our power as well. This is also one of the ghost points. A ghost point, it's where the chi is that we can access the spiritual realms, ghost points, spirit points. Access the higher planes, higher consciousness, right? That's all the points. So, not very complicated. You can use these points, again, to this template to open up your consciousness, to open up the third eye. It's also great, though. Do you have chronic nasal congestion? Bring in the frequencies. Especially, you might notice you get more nasal congestion if you're working in the finer realms, you're doing the meditations, you're up in the consciousness levels, but you're not really taking care of your 3D template, right? We know this, it happens. You're just like, oh my goodness, I need the dense, heavy foods to help ground me out. But instead of going for the dense, heavy foods that are going to actually nourish and support, we go for phlegm building ones. Because a lot of damp, heavy, or a lot of like grounding foods can be quite damp. Think more root vegetables and stuff like that as opposed to dairy or bread. You go dairy and bread, it's going to be very damp. If you go for more of the root vegetables, like exactly, right? Like beets, they're very grounding. They're helping build the blood as well. And what does that do? Well, when we build the blood, it gives us something to ground out in because blood is iron. Helps ground us. Think of blood builders. Right? This is also going to be good. Do you have a throat chakra blockage? Because remember, upper throat, lower third eye, upper third eye, lower crown, right? So if you have a block here, if you have a block in your third eye, if you have a block in the mental sphere, maybe you're too hung up on the thinking processes and you need a little release. Everything's too constricted. Maybe there's some blockage here in the Indu. Maybe you're getting frontal headaches. Right? It's intense. This meditation. So good. Okay. Now, how can you activate? How can you activate these points? How can you not activate these points? Right? I put that question back to you. No, how can we activate these points? In so many ways. Okay? So what's the sequence we're going to activate them in, though? I'll tell you the sequence that is recommended to activate them in, and then I'll tell you some of the ways that I've also worked with it. So the sequence, 1, right? Ajna 1. This is my right side, then left side. This is indigo 2, Atino on the right, indigo 3 on the left, Ajna 3 down there, or yin tong if you're an acupuncturist, Atino back here behind the jaw cleft on the right, SI17, back here on the left, same point, just on the other side, and then Ren 24 right in the little chin cleft right there. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let's talk about how you can activate those, and then I'll tell you some other ways that I've activated them. Or what other sequences. Activate them. Think on the point. Yeah? Sit with your eyes closed, or your eyes, if you have a hard time visualizing. I actually visualize better when my eyes are open. And in certain situations, but if my eyes are open, or so you can slightly relax your gaze and have like a crystal in front of you or something that you're just gazing on softly, that you're not like intent on, but that you're just softly. I think I can say softly again, softly looking at, right? And while you're in that state, then activate, bring light into that point. See if you can feel that point. So you'd start here and you'd bring light into that point. One of the ways that I've used when I'm activating the points this way is I'll breathe in light through the point and out light through the point. And I'll do that 3 times or until I feel the point activated, right? Because we can go, yep, I see the point. I'm here. Yep, I see the point. Yep, I see the point. Yep, I see the point. But there's no intention or like real focus and energy being put into the point. Just like, yep, we know this. Sometimes we go through our meditations or we go through our rituals and we're like, yeah, I did it. But we just went through the motions. So this is more than just going through the motions. To get the most out of it, we do it with intention and do it with focus and do it with power. So breathing in and out of the point, breathing light in and out. Maybe you breathe light out through it and then breathe in inspiration and air, whatever that is, and do it for the 1 point, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, 5, and then 6, and then 7. Yeah? Patino Namasaki. You could have a favorite crystal. Do you have a favorite crystal that has a little point on it? Maybe you have an obelisk. I quite love I have a golden healer quartz that I love for topical activating or energy activating aura, right? You could activate it that way. You could gently touch the point. You could gently, if you do energy work, you could place your hand over the point or your finger over the point so you're actually not touching it. I'm not touching you. But focusing the energy to that space. You could use a vibrational elixir or a flower essence and put drops on the points. We talked earlier about Shisandra. Shisandra is specific for the focus, right? Specific for the third eye. It's kind of astringent. It just brings it all in. It's interesting. It's the 5 flavors. And what we're talking about, the 5 senses plus 1. So it's the 5 flavors that activates the consciousness focus. Oh, I love that. Because I always just talked about the 5 flavors, but it makes sense now. It's the 5 flavors that are activating the 6. Okay, so anyways, so you can pick a plant and you can either put like a drop of tea from that plant on the spot or a tincture. Please be cautious because of the location of this. If you put a drop of tincture, that doesn't run down into your eye because that would suck. It would be stingy with the alcohol. You could do tuning forks. If you use tuning forks, you can do those as well. So you see, there's lots of different ways that you can activate. Now, what are some of the ways that I've done different sequencing? So last night I was playing around with it a little bit more. And so I'd done the breathing through the points one by one. And then I was like, I'm going to try something a little different. So I activated this point, and then I went and I did both of these. And then this one. And then both of these. And then this one. Then I played around with drawing the lines. So one of the ways I drew the lines is I drew them because these create like, okay, so if we do from here to here to here to here, that creates part of a cube. So if we had drawn that, that creates, right? That's like the edge of the cube. And then if those are back and you imagined a line here and here, then there's this cuboid. So good. So I pictured here, 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 then here, and then drew the line down to here, and then across to here, and then to here. And for me, I picture the lines as golden lines. It's just what came in, right? So again, activating all the points and then going back and being like, okay, and then following the lines going. And then the other one that I did, is I pictured this shape and then this shape. Whew, I'm getting activated doing this. So you can see there's a way we learn this and then we go, awesome. There's power, and not awesome in like, awesome, I learned how to do that, but just like, awesome. I learned these points. I learned these places. I learned these activations for me. Now, what else is coming in for me around this? Our existence isn't cookie cutter. You know, like when I was learning herbs, it wasn't, I'd be like, oh, this plant does this. Well, it's not in the literature. I was like, no, but the plant does this. And then we'd find literature from like the 20s and they're like, oh, that plant used to be used for that. And yes, there's something to do with there's a power within this structure. and within this layout, and what's next. And it's not always about focusing on what's next, but we build upon. So I encourage you to activate these points, to go into a meditative state. See what comes. I mean, you can do it before bedtime if you want to astral travel. Awesome, all the power to you. If you don't want to astral travel as much, I would recommend not doing this just before bed. I mean, it's a great way if you want to go in and get some healing. Do this. You could do this, not do this, do this. No, you could do this template and then say, I'm looking for clarity. Like, what is your reason for doing the template? Opening, unlocking the third eye. For what piece of clarity are you looking for? Maybe there's an emotional aspect in your life that's unclear. Maybe there's a physical aspect. Maybe you have a health condition. Maybe you're just, what's next on my journey? And then when you're in the astral realms that night, listen. Listen. And ask them, be like, I'd like to remember this the next day. Because how many times have we had an amazing journey and then the next day we're like, I don't remember what happened. We still have the wisdom, we still have the medicine, we still have the shifts in our cellular structure. But sometimes it'd be nice to know what the actual messaging was. Okay, I'm just making sure that's everything that I wanted to talk about. And it looks like it is. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, or I would love to hear, I would love to hear when you do this template, what's your experience with it? What came about? What did you see? What did you feel? Was there any aha moments? How did you, after activating it in the way, were you called to try a different way? Were you called to lay out the template, the lines? If you liked what you saw in this video, I encourage you to follow along wherever you were watching this video on one of the many platforms on which this may be posted. And also share, please, if there's somebody in your world that you're like, oh, I think they would like this, please share. And I'll put all my contact information and stuff below as well. If you have any questions, comments, if you'd like to dive into a session of consciousness, you know where to find me. And thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye for now.